Hey there, everyone. So excited to have you here with us today. We are going to go ahead and get started. My name is Megan, and I am the marketing director here at Martus Solutions. And today we're just going to take you through a quick overview. I'm going to share a few slides, tell you a little bit about Martus, what we do, and then my colleague Connor is going to take you through an actual demo. So you'll be able to dive into Martus and see a little bit of the product and what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right. So let's get started by talking about some common budgeting challenges. And these are really specific to spreadsheets. Now, most of the customers that we work with, they may come from a variety of different accounting software. And that's because Martus integrates with just about any accounting software that's out there. We offer quite a few API integrations, but we also, for legacy systems, can offer some file-based integrations. However, regardless of what accounting system customers are using, often when they come to Martus, they've been budgeting using spreadsheets. And I think we can all agree spreadsheets are great for a lot of things. I love a good spreadsheet to track some information, but spreadsheets are not the best when it comes to trying to scale budgeting for your growing organization. Eventually, you get to a point where you go, we got to do something different. And so these are some of the common budgeting challenges, the heartaches that we've heard from customers coming into Martus. One of the biggest ones is this feeling of disconnection. Excuse me. The feeling of disconnection regarding how your budget actually works. So maybe a department head can't get a lot of visibility into their budget. And so they don't really understand how that budget ties into the greater mission of the organization and the overall mission and vision. Maybe there's a little bit of disconnect between finance and department team heads, where finance is just having to send over manual information. And so department team heads aren't really understanding what's happening with their budget. Now, the other thing that happens is because there's so much manual entry with spreadsheets, it becomes inefficient very quickly, especially as you start to grow. One of the things that we have heard is, we've got some customers that say they were spending 40 hours just putting together the spreadsheet, not even budgeting, but just putting together the spreadsheet for the budget. And then maybe you're sending out separate spreadsheets to every department and they're filling that out manually and that's coming back in and then you're having to merge them. And then there's the ongoing maintenance for those spreadsheets. Obviously, always checking for broken formulas, fixing those formulas if they're broken. Perhaps someone overwrote a cell and they weren't supposed to, so you've got to go figure out what's going on there. So what happens is you spend so much time trying to maintain the spreadsheet that you never really have any real-time data. Your information is not being imported from your accounting system to your spreadsheet, so you don't know if certain items have cleared, if certain invoices have been paid. You don't have any real-time insight into what's happening with your budget, and that gives lack of visibility, both looking backward and looking forward. Oftentimes what we hear is that department heads maybe are just copying the budget numbers from last year because they don't have access to the historical data that the accounting department does. But also what that means is they can't really forecast accurately how they're going to need to adjust their budgets moving forward. So it's a lack of visibility, but also a lack of flexibility when it comes to budgeting with spreadsheets. And that is where Martus comes in. So our founder took a look at all of these challenges. He was working specifically with some nonprofits and faith-based organizations, and he said, well, there's got to be a better way. So Martus works, it looks a lot like a spreadsheet, but it has all of these additional features that spreadsheets don't have. So one of the biggest problems that we've solved for is collaboration. There is no more sending out multiple spreadsheets because everyone can work in Martus at the same time. And you have user level permissions. So department heads can't see each other's department budgets unless you want them to. They don't need to go up and see organizational level information. You can control at the end user level what everyone sees, and yet everyone can have access to exactly what they need to get to in order to input their budget data and review it. And because we're pulling that information in from your accounting system, you're able to get actual real-time information. I know that is really helpful for me. Obviously, here at Martus, we also use our own product. It's been super helpful for me as a marketing director. We do a lot of events, And being able to just go in and take a look at what we've spent on an event, see my real time budget to actuals has been a huge benefit for me. Another obvious benefit is easy reporting, like I was just talking about, being able to access those real time budget to actuals anytime I want to. And what that leads to is flexible forecasting when you are moving forward. And Martus offers multiple options for forecasting. If you need to do something short term, hey, we're going to make some changes for the next month or two, go ahead and use that short-term forecasting module. But if you want to look at how something is going to change your trajectory for a year, 3 years down the road, we do have long-range forecasting built in. And then last but not least, for organizations that need it, we do offer cash flow forecasting. We find that this is really helpful for organizations that maybe collect dues at a certain time of year, for schools that are collecting tuition, and then need to manage that cash throughout the year. And then last but not least, one of our most loved features is personnel budgeting. If you've ever tried to manage personnel in spreadsheets, you know that it can very quickly become a headache. So what personnel budgeting does is it brings all of that information into one core area where you can manage different pay types, pay positions, insurance, all of that information in one location and easily and quickly make those changes. So let's take a look at a few of our core features. Obviously, we've talked about the budget builder and the forecasting. We offer multiple types of reporting as well. So for companies that just want, hey, a quick out of the box report, we've got those. But if you have individuals or leadership at your company that wants a little bit more, we do offer customized reporting. And then special purpose worksheets, Connor will show those to you in a little bit, but it's really just a great way if you need to budget for an expense across departments or a budget for a specific project. A few other benefits that we have, I'm not going to run through the full list here, but the ability to quickly make bulk changes. Again, if you've ever worked in spreadsheets, you know what a headache that can be. So we've made it easy to make bulk changes across the board. Another one is approval workflow. So let's say there's a budget that's submitted and you need several levels of approval. We have that workflow built in. And then being able to track budget to actuals. I've already mentioned that. Personally, that's one of my favorite features of Martus. And then last but not least, the thing that customers love most about us is our quick implementation. You can absolutely be up and running within 3 weeks. And more importantly, after your first implementation call, that first hour, you're going to be able to get into Martus. Your team is going to be able to get into Martus, and they're going to be able to take a look and actually use the product. So it's super fast implementation. You can be up and running in just a few weeks and completely change your trajectory on budgeting. All right, at this point, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to hand it over to Connor so he can actually show you what it looks like to budget in Martus.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank y'all for taking the time here to look at a little bit about Martus. So what you're seeing here, this is the Martus welcome screen. So this is what you will see whenever you log into Martus. Now, I am logged in as an admin user, just meaning I have access to everything here in Martus. A little bit of a roadmap for us here. We're going to look at this dashboard section briefly, show you a little bit of our budget versus actual reports. We'll go over to our planner section, which is where we actually build our budgets, and then wrap up in personnel budgeting. Personnel budgeting is where we budget by head count. Okay, now the hallmark of Martus is being a collaborative budgeting and reporting tool. So if we look here at our end users, I'm going to take a look here at Ed, and as I look, he's given access to the dashboard section and the planner section, but he doesn't have access to personnel budgeting. So when Ed logs in, personnel budgeting doesn't exist for him. Now on we also are able to restrict user access by what we call dimensions, okay? The dimensions that I'm utilizing here are location, department, and project, okay? So depending on your accounting software that you're using, it might be your segments, okay? But if I look, Ed's given access to location 100. He's also given access to the accounting department, but no other department. So when Ed logs in to look at budgeting, view reports, he's looking at only the accounting department at location 100. Now, on our dashboard section, when we look at reporting here, we do offer visualizations, and everything that you see in Martus is pre-built, pre-generated. However, we do offer a custom report builder to build anything from scratch, okay, and customize it the way that you would like. Now, that includes visualization, so you can build any charts or graphs from scratch that you would like to. Let's go ahead and just take a look real quick at a specific report. There's one that I like showing called our forecast report here. So in Martus, we're able to track and we see I got 9 months actuals, 3 months budget. This says if I hit budget for the remaining 3 months, here's my total. So let's look at this from the point of view of, let's say, the head of Department 100. So this would allow your end user to be tracking and saying, okay, not only do I create my budget, but where am I currently on the year? How much more do I have left to spend? So I take this total, compare it to my annual budget, and I get a variance column. Now we make it very easy for non-finance and accounting users, okay? Red is bad, black is good in Martus. So you see I'm in the red on my income, probably not good, but in the black on my expenses. That's awesome, okay? Cool functionality that we have is the ability to drill down to transaction detail level. Anything that you see in Martus that is blue means it's drillable. So I can see the dates, amounts, memos, and notes that were left on the transactions that I had in my accounting system, okay? Depending on your accounting software that you have, we do have API integrations with many softwares. So all of that will be flowing over automatically, okay? In Martus, we do store an unlimited amount of historical data to use as reference data. And then also you can create an unlimited amount of budgets for you in your planner section, which I'll show you here in just a second. For our different budgets, I'm able here on our reporting side to toggle through them and run different analysis for myself. So let's say instead of operating off my board approved budget, I want to operate off this reforecast. I load this in here. You see my variances have changed. Okay. Now let's go ahead. Let me show you a little bit about what we do in our planner section. All right, so this is where we build our budgets. I'm going to take a look here. So this worksheet status report, this is awesome for your budget admins because what I'm able to see here is I'm tracking all my budget worksheets and where they are live. Now I'm building my worksheets by location and by department here. We can set it up to be built by whatever dimensionality you would like. However, this gain loss column, this shows me how much has been entered into my budget so far on the year. Target column shows me as an admin, I can go in and set letting my end users know how much they have to budget up to this year. Difference column, red is bad, black is good once again. So if I log in, I'm the head of Department 110. This is all that I see is my budget worksheet. I'm in the red by about $1 million. Probably want to make some changes before I go in and submit my budget for review. I have my owners column and my reviewers. What's going to happen is when a budget owner goes in, they complete a worksheet, they're going to hit submit and lock. That's going to send an automatic email to your approvers notifying them that, hey, this budget worksheet's able to be reviewed. Then your approvers can go in, approve or deny it, leave notes and comments. Those notes and comments are going to be sent back to the budget user, okay? So that is kind of our automatic workflow that happens there. If you deny it, leave notes and comments, that'll be sent back to the budget user and the worksheet will be open for them to go make corrections. Once it is approved, a budget owner is not able to access it again because it has been locked down. It would need to be reopened to be reaccessed. Now, let's look at a worksheet here. Okay, let me show you a couple different ways you can budget in Martus. Number one, you could initialize, means load in prior year history. So I could load in prior year actuals, prior year budget, maybe a combination of both here. Okay. I can increase or decrease spend. So I'm going to increase by 50%, set values. All right. Now, what I can do here is go in, make some changes, leave notes and comments. All right. The second way that you could set up a budget worksheet is by zeroing out the worksheet. So when I zero it out, this is going to start with a zero-based approach. Okay. Ignore these numbers. I've built some models that are flowing in here showing, okay, but you can start from scratch. Now, your budget users are going to have the ability to look at reference data here to go in and make changes to their budget. All right. We do store an unlimited amount of reference data for you. And so clicking this drop down, you're able to access that. Once again, anything in blue is drillable. So I could drill down to the transaction detail level. To create a budget worksheet, you'll use this budget widget tool. By doing this, I'm going to come in here. This gives me the ability to enter in information weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually. So let's say I don't know how much I'm going to enter or spend on office supplies a week or a month, but I'm going to spend $18,000 on the year. I'll hit preview here. It's going to break it up monthly for me for reporting purposes. I can then come in here and make individual changes on individual months if I would like to. leave notes as well on individual months. Okay. Now, the other really cool thing is actually, let me show you this. I'm going to show you one other thing here. I like to show this copy existing values tool. This is really good if you want to bring in any historical data by account. So I like showing the 12-month trailing actuals. Any account that has some sort of seasonality on it, we'll capture it here, right? So I've captured my seasonality. I'm going to increase my spend by 5%, let's say for inflationary purposes, right? Then I'm going to leave a note, trailing 12-month actuals with 5% for inflation. I copy my note down here and I hit save. Now, when I do that, my budget widget icon turns blue, just notifying anybody that's looking at this worksheet that, hey, there's a note that's left here. You can hover over and see that note there, okay? You can also click on attachments, click browse, upload any documents or files that you would like to for notation purposes. Now, when a budget worksheet is complete, you hit that submit and lock button, kicks off that workflow process that I was talking about previously. Alrighty, now, as you create your budget worksheets, they're going to automatically consolidate to what we're seeing here. This is our overall organizational budget. I can come here with a click of a button, pivot, filter the data however I would like to. Okay, so maybe I want to look at this by location instead of by account. I can do that here. All right, so all of our reports extremely flexible with a click of a button. You're pivoting and filtering the data. Now to wrap us up here, I want to show you guys personnel budgeting. So in personnel budgeting, you can create an unlimited amount of scenarios for yourself. So you see here, I got some cost of living adjustment scenarios. The way we do personnel budgeting though is by position, okay? So if I come over here, you see we are budgeting for vacant or unoccupied positions, and we also show we have a start date in March for that IT manager. Now, depending on your HRIS system, we could run an API integration that automatically brings over employee roster, connects them to the correct positions, and we capture all their data. Now, if you do not have an API integration set up, it would be a file base where we just export and import in here, okay? We'll set you up with a template as we go through implementation. It takes about 90 seconds to be able to do that. Now, when I click on our CFO Caden here, for Caden, we're tracking Caden's FTEs. These are Caden's home dimensions. You do have the ability to allocate employees across multiple cost centers in Martus. So this would just be his home dimensions before we do any allocation. Top right-hand side is our pay types. Pay types are user defined. We set those up with you as we go through implementation. Now, when I hit view detail here, this is going to show me Caden's fully loaded cost, sum by month, the total for the year here on the right-hand side. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do is let me show you how you can run different scenarios for yourself. All right. So let's say you get a call from your health insurance coverage provider and they say, hey, congratulations, coverage premium is going to go up by about 10% starting in March. Okay. I just selected everyone that receives the pay type of health insurance. I'll come select everybody here and I'll hit update pay item. Now I'm going to select down here in March and I'm going to do 10% increase, hit update there. Now, when I do that from February to March, you see there's my 10% increase across the board. Okay. So very easy to be able to run scenarios for yourself, cost of living adjustments, salary increases by certain departments, or whatever dimensionality you would like to filter for. It's very easy. I can come here and just filter for that. Okay. Now, guys, I hope this gives you guys a good feel of Martus. We would love to be able to talk about it more with y'all, but now I am going to go ahead and toss it back.
Hey, Connor, thank you very much. I always love when you give presentations, always super helpful. Again, we are coming to the end of our time, so I just want to say thank you again. You can reach out to us in any of the ways that are on the screen, info@martussolutions.com, obviously drop by our website, or come and check us out on LinkedIn. We post every day on LinkedIn. We've got a lot of great articles on there. We would love to hear from you. If you would like to get a deeper dive into Martus and see how it can work for your organization individually, go ahead and reach out to info@martussolutions.com and Connor will get a hold of you and we will schedule a one-on-one demo. Again, thank you everyone for being here today. Really appreciate your time. We hope this has been helpful and we look forward to connecting with you again soon.